Welcome to Your Number Man, the podcast where we dive deep into business, finance, and entrepreneurship. I am your host, Johan Zanik, but you can call me Your Number Man. Over the years, I've worn many hats in the business world, from marketing ace to financial expert. And now I'm here to share my expertise with you. Each week, we'll explore strategies, insights, and stories to help you navigate the complexities of running a successful business. Whether you're a seasoned entrepreneur or just starting, this podcast is your go-to resource for all things business and finance. So grab a drink, settle in, and let's unlock the secrets to building and thriving business together. This is Your Number Man, where we help you achieve a bigger life in business. Well, good day, everybody. Today we've got a lively, ever-sparkling and elegant Kerry Cleopatra here in our studio. Kerry is an entrepreneur par excellence. She's the founder and owner of eKoo Body and Soul. Her business was founded in 2007, where she started to blend energy and organics to make artisan skincare, oils and teas. Now, Kerry is also a coach, a mentor and a healer, and she supports women to live the soul-driven life for success on their terms. Kerry is a planet and truth-loving activist. She's a sensitive soul that leads passionately and inspires us to live our life with purpose and adventure. Well, Kerry, welcome to the Number Man podcast.
Thank you. It's always interesting being welcomed. And the use of names, when we try and name what we do, in my world, it's so expansive and it's hard to put it in a pocket and a name. But thank you for that beautiful introduction.
Yeah,
it's lovely to be here.
Great. You started with eKoo 2007. Obviously, you had some major challenges and you've gained a lot of knowledge over the years, but can you explain where does the name eKoo comes from and what it stands for?
Well, eKoo it's a really passionate and energetic name, but it's actually also playful. And it's probably the way I come into life is if from all of those things there's seriousness, but we need to play with a much more light of heart. And I think eKoo says that. And what it is E is kind of like, I think, environment, ecology, earth, energy, all the good E elements that I'm very aligned with. And Koo is, well, it was a bit of a play on my name. I think for most of my life, I've been someone who's been curious and questioned, and that's sometimes welcomed and sometimes not. And the girl that had the desk outside the classroom sometimes with the teacher that didn't want to be questioned and whatnot, which is fine. I was also probably a bit of a smarty aleck as well when I think back to my teenage years.
You still are, aren't you?
Yes, probably. I've mellowed.
Yeah.
And so I was often told that I can't do things. And look, these things did affect me deeply, and I've done a lot of work to unstitch a lot of what I've been told or led to believe. And I would challenge things. I don't know, I had this sort of part of me that was like a bit of a fighter and this gumption that would say, why can't I? And I mean, even with eKoo being organic skincare and 100% natural, I was told it can't be done. There's no such thing as 100% natural skincare. This is when I worked for another leading company that was a great company, but my purest love and belief in Mother Earth and nature having everything we need without tainting it, without changing it and transforming it. It's just unshakable. And so Cuckoo, if you think my name's Kerry, so sometimes it was just a play on Kerry Cuckoo. And so when eKoo landed in my belly, I'd been running a business. When I say running a business, I'm going to be honest, I just created a job for myself because of my passion.
Yeah.
My passion trumped my knowledge. I had no business experience. I didn't even know what the difference is between, say, a business and creating a job for ourselves. And for example, a business is something that really you should be able to walk away from and it still continues.
Yep.
Whereas a job, your business requires you all the time. It's really a job. It's a self-employment. And that's fine. That's not a problem. It's not making one wrong or right. But I didn't know. I just cared about what I taught. So I had a business called Waking Up Wellbeing.
Yep.
And all I cared about was the work that I did, that I was just always wanting to help humanity. I was a bit of a rescuer as well. And I think because I hadn't healed those parts of myself that wanted to be rescued. So it's funny how we grow and, it's tough love sometimes. And in business, it can be like that. It's like this growing up of ourselves, and our businesses reflect that. If you're a passionate entrepreneur, there's some of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some of that growing up to do in a way where you do realise that part of that potency and power you can have in business is to be profitable, is to be responsible financially. And I have been flamboyant, I've been irresponsible, and I somehow land on my feet. I mean, it's 17 years now. I'm deviating from your question,
yes,
but I get very passionate about some of the realities and some of the pathways we can go on when we're passion-driven first. We're passion-driven over the desire to make money. There's no wrong or right there either. I'm just passion-driven over the desire to make money.
Yes.
Like, my passion comes first. But I've learned the hard ways that it's really important and responsible for my people who follow what I do in the products and the services that I offer. For me to keep showing up, I need to be responsible, and I need to be able to pay myself and anyone else that's working with me.
So you've basically just said it all from what you just said. You basically talk about the three major P's in business. It's passion, purpose, and in profit, to keep you in line,
Yeah, I think for me, I have three P's as well, and it's very similar. And it's people, planet, and there's still a hesitation where I go, and profit. The only way I can tell my body and brain that I'm okay with profit is because that is part of being responsible. It's part of still being able to do what I do. Otherwise, I've got to go and get a job, and I'm not built that way. I'm a great employee if you want someone who you don't tell what to do.
So I don't know if you
can guide me, and I'm incredible because I'll apply myself if I'm inspired in something. I've worked in fabulous kitchens and with amazing chefs, and so I can be a good employee, but I've got to care about what I'm doing.
So profit was always a little bit of a sort of like a dark word, or
a sticky point.
A sticky point.
Do you know why?
And I see it a lot in my business and my clients as well. People say, I just want to be happy in my business. I don't need to be major rich. But I say, well, profit is, to your point, that's what we've got to grow to. It's not a dirty word.
Not at all. And I think that I still haven't fully embodied that. Like, it's still, I can feel into my body and go, and I know this is like the feminine masculine, we might get into that a bit.
Okay.
There's different language and different ways that we express things. And for me, I'm a very feeling feminine woman, and it's not fully landed in my body yet, right? And I think for your female listeners in particular will understand that. And I love that we have the feminine and masculine in business. I think for me to be successful, and for any of us to be successful in business, when you learn to understand and bring in some of that masculine, feminine, not trying to be it all, I know that might go over the heads of some of the listeners here.
Some of the blokes out there is like, just give me numbers, stop.
I know, but
I know.
Business requires understanding.
You're right.
And it's more than, it is numbers, for sure. That is an important ingredient, but it requires a more holistic understanding to run a genuinely successful business where you're happy. If you have people in your business, they're happy, your followers or your customers, or, there's a holistic approach, and it requires the masculine, feminine. And when we work in harmony together, how beautiful is that? It's like a relationship made in heaven.
So your business is our business, my business is me, your business is yours.
That's what makes the world so rich and diverse, is the differences. So definitely I'm not into cookie cutter business. On saying that, if someone's already got some wisdoms in place in that, don't reinvent good wheels.
Yes.
But definitely be you in your business. Yeah.
Yeah, and then later on in life as well, you had a lot of challenges starting your business 2007, and trying to get the numbers right. You employed some people, and then you started something different on the side almost in 2020, the Beautiful Place, which was a nice little haven almost for people.
Genuinely beautiful place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a bit more about the Beautiful Place?
Well, I think that in context with perhaps, say, numbers, if we keep it in context with numbers, yet my feminine slant, There are different success or versions of success that we might have. And for me, it was always about creativity and expression. And the beautiful place was an extension of my love for creating beautiful experiences and beautiful spaces and places for people to come and just remember what it is to be human. The other side of that is, of course, there was my business. So I could have my beautiful products in there, and I cared about other people in business, artisans in particular. I'm all about local community, supporting handcraft. I'm just not into the big modern world of machinery. I know that people are, and it makes business easier apparently for some. I'm pretty old-fashioned. I'm actually not, I'm beyond old-fashioned. I'm probably, I don't know. I go way back to when we just worked in beautiful smaller communities, and we just didn't get bogged down in all the bright sparkly things. I love the human context of life. So the beautiful place was like that, and gee, that was a scary leap going into something once you go into leases and all those sort of things.
Yes.
But it was a very heart-driven event, actually. I didn't get caught up in all the hoo-ha and noise of it all. I attracted the perfect place.
Yes.
And even my real estate agent, I've had terrible experiences with real estate agents over the years, both renting privately and whatever. And yet there's this part of me that is very out there with the way I run business, very intuitive in how I do things. So I don't always do things from the numbers and the logic.
Oh,
If I feel drawn to something, if something feels in my gut, I go, this, I've got to do this. I don't know how, but I'm going to make this will happen, and I will always work it out. And I do get to the numbers eventually.
Yeah,
because you have to.
Because we don't want to shy people away from the numbers in this podcast.
I know, but I'm being really honest. And I think I speak for a lot of perhaps those that work more in the feminine. We can be very emotive, and we do often, if we're in the feminine, we're very much into our intuition and our gut feelings. But you need to support that. Like you can't go with eyes closed. You've got to have your eyes wide open still. And I love to look at the numbers to reassure me. So I might get the gut feeling, and then I'll go, right, let me see how I can back this.
Yeah.
And that's when I love to look at the numbers. And when I see how it can be done, I get really excited. And you feel more confident. You feel more able to make good decisions. You might have the vision, but you need to make good decisions toward the vision. And clarity will do that. So numbers will give you clarity.
I was waiting for that word, clarity.
Yeah.
I mean, we always say clarity is power.
It is. Clarity
is power. And
clarity allows flow. It feels good. You've got space to see.
It just feels good. You almost got like a 20/20 vision or a 360 degree around you.
You know, so many of my clients that come to me, I work predominantly with women who are stuck. Or they know they're not happy where they are. They know they're transitioning. Quite often they're in business, and I love helping women in business to be really clear in themselves. But it's always the personal work that I focus in on the personal work so that energetic shifts can take place within them. Bringing it back to clarity, lack of clarity is like a weight, energetic weight, and it tends to feel like a block where just things aren't lining up. What I've found is when things aren't lining up, I even had an experience of this last week where I was just doing my thing. I had things to do. I needed to order ingredients. I needed to organise things with some clients and whatnot. And I just was feeling like I was bumping my head against the wall. Nothing was happening terrible, but I felt clunky, and I had to stop what I was doing. I go outside, I take my shoes off, I earth, it's electrical currents, it's not rocket science. And I just let go and allow some space to come back in. And where there's space, then the clarity can come, and then there's flow in your world.
Gotcha.
And so then it got really exciting because when I got out of my own way, I allowed the creativity to come through. I then allowed the creativity and I wrote down my ideas of what it was. I birthed something new and it's beautiful and I'm so excited. So I feel excited in my business again. And now I'm really excited because I'm wanting to crunch all the numbers, not just the numbers of what I might make in profit, which takes me a lot of courage to say. You know why? Because my work is so dear to me and so dear to the people I serve.
Yes.
I never want them to feel that the profit comes before my love for them and my authenticity in what I offer.
Sure.
That's where I've had the struggle. But I've realised I have to just toughen up and be responsible and have the profit so that I can continue to show up.
That you can grow.
And serve and grow. And I can do so much more when I have more to offer. You know, it's a wonderful thing.
Yeah.
So now I'm excited to do the numbers of what that might look like for profit, but I'm also excited to do the numbers for the costings and really get into the genuine costings so that I know, because I've got an intuitive feel of what I want to charge for these services and being very, very realistic, and they usually match up. I'm not new to working with numbers with you.
Yeah.
Do you remember a few years ago with The Beautiful Place? I was pacing in there because at the time my products I'd been in meetings, they were going into a department store.
I remember, yeah.
Yeah, it was a bit like a dream come true for me.
They actually contacted you.
They did.
Kerry, we love your skincare.
Yeah, and I was excited because I thought, wow, because my skincare is not just good skincare, it's energy and organics. I thought, this is telling me that there's people awakening on our planet asking for better.
Yes.
And that's exciting to me. So the purpose of the products was always to show people that better can be done and that they deserve better. So when that happened, it was so exciting on so many levels. And then it was falling through. And I don't know if you remember, but I was in The Beautiful Place in my workshop and it all fell through. I couldn't agree on numbers with them. We had done a lot of spreadsheets and numbers, and thank goodness, because that clarity was part of me feeling confident and able to have the conversations and the communications back and forth. But it fell through because their demands were very high. And I just went, as an artisan, I can't do that. And then I got on the phone to you and I said, Johan, I need some help. And I was really grateful because you did drop everything that moment. And I said, I've got an idea.
Yes.
And can you adjust the figures and tell me? And I shared the idea and You had all the spreadsheets done, and you are the spreadsheet wizard, I have to say, when it comes to.
Thank you.
They were gold. They were gold, and it gave me that confidence.
Yeah.
You emailed them over to me. I looked at them and went, "Okay, I can do it." Now, even though we'd already, the deal had fallen through, I just picked up that phone and I said, "Look, I found a way. Can we go ahead? Can we talk about this?" And we went ahead and products got in the store and...
Yeah, because they were squeezing us for the margin. They still had to
very
make sure they get their margins as well.
Well, they were moving Clinique out and putting me in the place there.
Yeah.
I mean, that is huge. But...
Yeah.
That was in 2020 where a lot was going on in the world.
Yeah.
So big learning curves.
Right.
But I did it. I've ticked a few boxes in the world of skincare and how apparently competitive it can be. But I'm not into that.
Yeah, that's great. And at this stage, you're really aligning with your clients.
I've never shaken from the integrity or the ethos with eKoo. In fact, I'm sure I could have been multi-millionaire as many times if I went with some of the pathways that were in front of me. But I just wouldn't do things like animal testing and
But you can set yourself broke as well. Because I remember when we've done those numbers, rose oil, I think it worked out something like $3 per drop.
Just over $3 a drop.
$3
wholesale.
a drop. You get 20 drops in 1 ml. So people, I'm just talking numbers for a while. So 1 ml works out $60 per ml. So $60,000 a litre if you times that by 1,000. So it's crazy. So imagine
and the price comes down a bit when you buy bulk. I don't buy that in those numbers though because
and the gold price is what, 120,000 Aussie this morning?
Is it?
Roundabout. Last week was 117, I remember.
Yeah.
So that means it's half the price of gold. It's like liquid gold.
It is
and
like
if you don't
gold.
get that costings right.
I've had moments because Rose is like the queen of oils and she features in all of my skincare, and I've had moments, I remember probably a decade ago, where the price pretty well doubled overnight.
Yep.
And I went, and I literally had to go out. I had a custom built workshop in I had a cottage called Rose Cottage years ago, and it was beautiful. And I stepped out of the workshop, sat in the garden, sat with Mother Earth. Yes, this is how I do things sometimes. And I just went, what am I going to do? How am I going to do this? And, I just had to stay with it.
Yeah.
I believed in the purpose of the rose oil in the product and what she was for, because the products are more than just skin deep. And the purpose of the rose oil is to reach and touch in the hearts of women and remind them of how beautiful and how remarkable, and help them remember who they are. And how can I take that out?
Yeah.
How can I, so, and I tend to, this is where I'm a bit kooky, right? But I'm good with it. So I sat with Mother Earth and she said, it's okay, Kerry. It's okay. Keep going. And so, I had to grow up a bit with my pricing. I had to learn to put the prices up. And I've had to do price rises probably less than most companies would do. I know I've worked on counters where there's products that I know the costing of what goes into those things, and I think, wow, and women are paying hundreds of dollars for them, and they've got in them, I go, wow. And so in relativity, I guess it's your market, isn't it? What you're marketing to.
It's your marketing and packaging distribution,
Yeah, and I know I could reach a higher market and charge a lot more, but I don't know. I just care about the women I relate to, the everyday women who actually do value themselves. We're not all perfected that. We're all learning to love ourselves. And that goes for men too.
I remember I spoke to you once during our little exercise and you said, no, I'll make you some tea. And I said, no, I don't want a tea. I want a bloody coffee now. Because I think it just got too hard squeezing that margin and fit us. And I said, we've got to make sure we're not going to, we've got to do better than breaking even, getting it on the shelf.
Yeah.
And then you said, calm down. And you told me about this book that you read once. I think it was Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway.
Oh, Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway. Susan Jeffers.
Susan Jeffers, yeah.
It's funny you bring up that book because I was just talking about that the other day. It came up. It's a classic. It was published many years ago. But I honestly believe we should put this book in the hands of all our kids. Mm-hmm. And I think I was in my 20s. I was working with another company selling pure essential oils and skincare and whatnot. And I had no ability to talk in front of people, and I had no, even though I was a gutsy girl, the truth was I had no self-worth, and I was scared as anything. And I remember wanting, though, to be able to publicly speak. I wanted to be able to stand up in front of people without feeling like just, open up at the earth and let me fall in it, because I just didn't want to be seen by people. Yeah. And this book was gifted to me. The company I was working with had a really great ethos around personal development. It just made sense to me. So one of the things in Feel the Fear and Do It Anyways, I used to go, okay, and I'd hear the voices in my body and my head going, no, I can't do this, I can't do this, I can't do this. I used to use essential oils to calm the nerves. Yep. And it was like I put my hand in the back of my head, just gently nudge myself onto the stage. Now, my first stage was maybe 10 women in the room in this little training we were doing. And I would just nudge myself, come on, you can do it. And I'm so glad I did. I felt the fear. I was petrified. Yep. And I did this recently. I was petrified to go swimming in this river that was full of logs and that. And some fears are relative, right? Yeah. So
logs in South Australia, not crocs.
Logs, yeah. And I had this fear because you can't see and the water's murky. But you know what I do? I've evolved that where I'd nudge myself and I'd learn to overcome my fears. We have a term like conquer your fears. I disagree with that because I've learned that actually I welcome and I love my fears. I don't let them lead me because I'm the wise woman here. Yep. Yeah, so you're the wise man, I'm the wise woman. We're adults here, so we lead, but we've got to listen to the voices because quite often they're parts of us that have not been resolved, So I said, thank you, fear.
It's great that you mentioned fear in that context as well, but sometimes step a little bit away, forget about fear. It helps you to be creative. It helps you to be innovative as well. And you've been quite innovative, and I love some of your names. I love the name Tribal Goddess. Yeah, when you talked about this skincare that you called it the Tribal Goddess. I said, wow, yeah, let's go with that one. And in the names of your teas, your Soul Lift and your Soul Passion, and Happy Soul. It's great. So, how important is creativity and innovation in a business?
I guess it depends what your business is, but for me, I am a form of creativity. Yes, and so innovation kind of comes naturally as a result of creativity. I feel for a business, just like a garden, we need to innovate within the garden because over time things can change. You get some new bugs coming in or some new stuff happens that you've got to adjust to, and that's where innovation is really important. And I'm just naturally a creative soul, and I know that not everybody is we're different personality types and we're just we flow differently. For me, I have to rein in my creativity a little bit because, we can get caught up in the next shiny bling thing. But names, Tribal Goddess, Baby Kisses, Graceful Age, these are all names of different ranges within the eKoo family. And I love names. I love the feel of names. I love the fun and what they evoke. And there is purpose and reason behind each name of each product. I'm going through a transition. There's rebranding. There's costs and expenses there. So I'm doing it step by step. In regards to cash flow, I could do other things. I guess I could get an investor or whatever. I don't know. But at the moment, I'm working within cash flow and going at that pace.
Yep.
I find that really I'm not into stress. What people find stressful is variable, and some people thrive on some stresses. But I'm just at a stage where I'm not really keen on that. And I don't even have the same level of desires in my business as far as what some people term business success. So we have business innovation, but remember that there's transition going on within us and the different stage of life that we're in. And I mean, I'm not an old grandmother. Not that there's anything wrong with being an old grandmother, right? So I don't care about the ages, really. It's just that it's more the stage of expression of life that I'm in. And I have no desire to push myself really hard. I have no desire to have a lot of the common illnesses that women tend to have when they keep pushing, like adrenal burnout, thyroid issues, etc. I mean, it's important I walk my talk, and I found that when I was pushing and doing a lot and it all looked really successful on the outside, I was so exhausted because even though I did my best to be organic about it and grounded in it and look after myself, it just took it out of me. And I have redefined my version of success, and that is still something that is not a shut and closed case, because we're at different stages and I want time for myself, time in the garden, etc. I mean, I've been full-time mum alongside building business, and each to their own, but I love being there for my kids. I didn't want other people raising my kids so much. And there's that real fine point about what your version of success is. And for me, I felt the need to be successful in business because part of that reflected my need for acknowledgement that I was enough or that I was successful and whatever in the external world. And I still had those things going on. But something, in me was not content with all of that. But now I don't care about all of that. So now I get to do success on my terms where I don't mind how it looks in the world because it's not my business. My business is to be authentic, to come from my heart, to honour myself and to share and care from there. And as you know, that beautiful balance between, I guess, that feminine aspect of myself and the wisdom and knowledge of the masculine that helps to really ground things, be clear in things in that way as well. So I love where I am now. And it does not look successful to some maybe. If they had a look in, they'd go, Kerry, you could turn this into a multi-million-dollar business. You could do this and these amazing products, etc. Yeah, they are. I get it. Maybe. I'm still slightly resting and I'm rebirthing what I feel really excited about. And that's my way of innovating is honouring the call. And I can feel it. I can see it. I'm so excited about what's coming, but in a very grounded and I guess more experienced way. So don't rush being in business.
Well,
you grow with it.
You grow with it.
Yeah.
That's great. That's our takeaway for today. I reckon. Don't rush. Be calm. Follow your passion and live and breathe. Make it unique.
Play the long game.
Play the long game.
Yeah, don't worry about the short term, yay, well, there's an award here. There's just external noise. I think when I was younger, that kind of outside or external validation perhaps mattered more, and it helps for people to know, gee, this is this and this is this. But it's really, I think it's great for those that it's great for. For me, I want my bare feet in the ground. I want to spend my time in the garden with grandkids. I want to innovate. I want to be sitting around and facilitating and transforming with people, they want to do.
Great. Yeah.
So that's what matters to me. I don't really care
that's
about
what we all really want. Different strokes for different blokes.
Strokes for different.
To put it into a masculine context.
Yeah. Look, if you're driven and those things are important ingredients, there's no wrong or right. It's what's right for you.
Yes.
And it's what's right for who you're serving in some way. Serving being, what your offering is.
Great. I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's fantastic. We'll have to call it a wrap now.
Well, thanks for having
You
me.
gave us great lines to remember, some great takeaways. And we'll definitely put all your detail on the show notes. If people want to get in touch with you, it's www.eKoo.love.
Yes.
That's it. Yeah,
Yes.
that's it.
Kerry at eKoo.love, Kerry with a Y.
Yeah. Kerry with a y.eKoo.love.
Yeah.
That's great. And she lives and breathes her branding. You'll see on the photos on the show note as well. Very colorful. Thanks, Kerry. It was
Thank
really
you.
great for you to come in.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me, and all
Okay.
the best, everyone.
Thank you. So, each week, I'm going to have a numeric on the show. Now, a lot of you might ask, what is a numeric? Well, a numeric is actually a limerick. It's just got a number connotation to it. And today's numeric is: a cup of Kerry's beautiful eKoo tea can lift your day with heartfelt glee. To view your numbers with a cup of calm can give your biz real clarity and charm. And you might just love the new vision you see. And that's a wrap. Thanks for joining me, and I hope today's session was valuable and you feel inspired to take action in your business. Remember, business success is about more than just numbers. It's about passion, determination, and a relentless drive to pursue your dreams through the help of numbers. So keep pushing forward, learning and striving for a bigger life in your business. If you found this podcast valuable, be sure to subscribe. Follow us on socials and leave a review if you enjoyed today's episode. And one last thing, if you want access to additional resources that will help you fast track your cash flow and financial freedom, visit yournumberman.com.au. Until next time, this is Johan Zanik, your number man, signing off. Thanks again.